Breaking news.
A woman who police say intentionally drove off a 300-foot ravine is getting a second chance after emergency crews found and rescued her more than a week after she had been reported missing.
So the problem is the car went that way, pulling it up, and then it hit the bottom and flipped end over end and went down the creek a little bit. So it's gonna...
If nothing else, we hope her story can help others seek the help they need.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a little bit of a kind of a bittersweet video. About 300 feet down that canyon right there is a car. And it's like a brand new Chrysler, and it's wadded up in a ball because the driver of the car drove it off this cliff about 8 or 9 days ago.
The woman was reported missing to Brigham City police on July 26. She explained that she had intentionally crashed her car down a 300-foot ravine.
And it's actually a really kind of a crazy story that has somewhat of a happy ending. A woman who wasn't feeling right, we're not 100% sure about all the details because she's still in the hospital, but she left her house early in the morning one day around 6 a.m. In just her robe. And there had been some events that led up to this, you know, personal family stuff or whatever. And for some reason, coming up this dirt road here, she was going way faster than the road would allow. And whether it was intentional or not, she launched her car right off this cliff. And it was a doozy. The craziest part about the story is after she launched into the ravine, nobody knew where she was. So people were kind of searching the area for her. They couldn't find her. She spent 5 days in that car that you're about to see down in the bottom of this ravine, just wadded up trying to get out, and then another 2 or 3 days climbing up this hill until finally around midnight, a day or two ago, a motorcycle was coming down this canyon. Her family had kind of just not really given up hope, but they'd searched the whole area. They didn't know where she was. They assumed she was up here, but since they searched the whole area and couldn't find her, they didn't know what was going on. Fast forward to midnight a couple nights ago, she crawls out onto the road here in front of a motorcyclist who's coming up the road, and she was, remember, just in her robe, so she was either without any clothes at all or just in a tattered robe, and broken ribs, broken sternum. They said 7 broken ribs and a broken sternum, and she had to crawl her way up this hill, like I said, which took her 2 or 3 days. So she was, they say, somewhere between 7 and 8 days stranded down here, and she's only a couple miles from the city here. It's not that far out here in the wilderness. It is a pretty steep, rugged canyon, but 7 or 8 days with no food, no water, and no medical attention for her broken ribs and stuff. And you're about to see just how insane. Like, she was going fast. She had to have been, because there's no tire tracks right here where she went off, and then they start right over there, which means she was airborne all throughout here. And we flew over it early, and you'll see the drone footage. There's just a path, like knocking down big trees all the way down to the bottom of the ravine. And it's a very steep hill. I don't know if the camera's gonna do it justice or not, but the search and rescue crew who had to come down and kind of like assess the situation had to rappel down this. We didn't bring rappelling ropes. We'll just kind of walk down the steep hillside, but it's brutal. It's wild. Like I said, happy ending because she is safe and sound. She's in a hospital. And, you know, kind of the light at the end of the tunnel is the fact that this was a very eye-opening experience for her, obviously. And now the family's told us that she's had, you know, a little bit of a change of heart, and she's realizing how valuable life is because she's been on the verge of death for the past week. So a little different recovery than usual because this is a very personal story of somebody who was struggling, you know, with mental health. And this is a good opportunity for us to obviously showcase a gnarly recovery, but also talk a little bit about mental health and kind of what it means to everybody and how you get to the point where life doesn't matter and, you know, that cliff looks pretty nice to drive off, which they're not. Doing that is not a good thing for you, and more importantly for the people who love you, like your family and loved ones. You know, watching this family, they're just, you can tell they're on a roller coaster right now because one day she's alive, next day she's lost, next they think she's, you know, dead, and now she's alive. And it's like there's so many things that led up to this. So our goal is to kind of help raise awareness of that and, you know, hopefully prevent somebody from making the same type of mistake in the future. So we're gonna go down This will be our first time down the hill, so you're walking with us. It's going to be rough and rugged, but we're going to go check out the car and see just how bad it really is. This is where kind of the path starts. This is well down the side of the cliff where she was airborne, hit somewhere in here. You can see car parts starting kind of to show up, wiped out all the trees. But what's crazy is she was going so fast that she kind of traversed the hill rather than going straight down, which means that she was really, really moving. So as we get down here and start walking down, you're gonna see more and more trees that are toppled over. You're gonna see more and more car parts. Crazy is she still had some pretty good velocity coming down through here because she was able to hop over this log without it went barrel roll 2 or 3 times, then got right here, and then it went end over end. This is the car. We're just speculating right now as far as what happened because there's not a lot of information, but based on what we're seeing, it looks like she rolled multiple times down this, got to the bottom, and it's actually kind of nice that she did because that way she didn't go full speed into that tree, which would have been a very abrupt stop. Rolling, believe it or not, took a little bit of that energy, slowed things down a little bit. You can see like even up high in some of the trees, there's branches that are broken. So I think she went 2 or 3 times side over side, kind of a barrel roll, got down here, and then at some point the car went end over end, and that's what flipped her into this rather than that big bushel of trees. So not sure if she was buckled up or not, but the airbags definitely did their job because it's not something that most people would survive.
So now once we get this hooked up, all I gotta do is hook it up to this other strap now. And then we'll have a full connection from the tow truck to the car. Heavy D will start giving it a tug and hopefully it pulls right on out. How far do you think down it is?
Probably 300.
Every bit of 300.
Not that. Yeah, it's just really steep. Yeah. So the problem is the car went that way, pulling it up, and then it hit the bottom and flipped end over end and went down the creek a little bit, so it's going to come up like right here.
So we're thinking it's just going to mow down.
Yep. Those trees will help guide the wire a little bit, but ultimately the car is just going to come right through that patch of trees.
Because it's sitting this way, right?
Front is sitting uphill.
So we've almost got to flip it.
Well, it's going to spin pretty easily.
Right.
Probably going to want to double that one up, eh?
No.
So we don't have, obviously, the rotator or the wrecker, our big boom truck here, which the purpose for those is you get your winch line high and your pull point then pulls the vehicle up and out of the situation, which a wrecker would be perfect for this, but we didn't want to trailer it up here and didn't want to deal with all that. And we can do pretty much most of the things we can do with that truck with the, well, not most of them, but this truck can handle canyon recoveries, no problem. But the reason why we've got the bed tilted up is because we don't want the winch line to be dragging on the bed. So we're basically kind of built our own little wrecker boom that's all elevated right there. So once we start pulling, you'll see very little tension on the bed itself. As far as the wire running along it, it's not going to be anything significant. It might even get airborne. It might even pick all the way up. But basically what we have to do is pull it up in stages because we don't have enough cable on this truck to be able to reach the bottom. So we have a section of cable, and then we have like 2 or 3 Yankum ropes in there, plus all of our soft shackles and everything. So
you know what I'm gonna do? I just had this great idea. I'm gonna double it up because then I can use my shackle or my D-ring in place of my shackle. I had this great idea all on my own. Can you believe that? Didn't have any help from Alec.
It's a light car. It's like that Audi we recovered out of the other canyon. Not quite that light. This probably weighs another 1,500 pounds on top of that car. But they should pull. I don't think the car's probably more than 5,000 pounds.
So we doubled up our last rope so we could get a D-ring right here on our only connection. It didn't have a D-ring. I lied. We got one soft shackle, and that will probably be our weak point. But I say we give her a tug and see how it goes.
Should be good. Our footing here is decent. So once Diesel gets the car rigged up, final hook points on, then...
Can you believe that she crawled up this with broken sternum and broken ribs?
No, I can't, because I could barely get up it myself with all body parts functioning.
I can barely walk up, and I feel like I'm fairly able-bodied.
Are you hooked and ready?
Yeah, that's crazy. She's a warrior. Yeah, we're all hooked up and ready to give it a pull, so let's see what she got.
So stay down there with it, obviously, just in case I need you guys to re-rig, and then once we know it's pulling, then you come up.
Oh man, I already came to the top. I took the chairlift.
It's gonna be an interesting one. It's not gonna be that complicated as long as the car doesn't get hung up on any major trees. But wait till you see this thing. It's hammered. You actually probably already saw it because Alec probably already put his footage in earlier than this, but wait till you see it up here on the bed. And you gotta think, like, somebody's trapped in a car for 4 or 5 days. You got to use the bathroom, you got to do other stuff, so the car is a little bit of a biohazard at this point. Even though there's not like a bunch of blood and stuff, there's other stuff in there that is not necessarily too pleasant.
It is taking a mean path right through a big thick tree, so we'll see how it does.
How's it going on that log, Dave?
It's pulling up with it. The log's kind of jamming it up pretty good. I need to get it out of there.
Let's just keep pulling and see what it does.
You'll make it up and over. It's going.
Right now, since we're doing kind of pulling it up in stages, which means we've got multiple sections of cable on the line because we didn't have 300 feet of winch line on the main drum. We had a section of cable that we pulled up, and now it got to the point where the hook from the actual winch was going to go through the winch, so we had to stop. So basically all the weight of the car right now is on this line. It's shooting up right there. Now we're going to run the main winch line back down to where this line is connected, and we're going to pull that line out. So it's going to make the whole line shorter, and then we'll be able to pull again.
Now we're gonna run straight cable all the way to the car, take out the factor of the ropes, and then in theory be able to pull it straight onto the bed.
It's looking good, really good. I think, Dave, let's stage it again. Take the hook down to the car.
That's what I'm talking about. Old trusty green tow truck comes through again. Don't act like you're not impressed.
Go back to work, everyone. Don't act like you're not impressed.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I thought I was going right in your face.
it went right by. But definitely did what it was supposed to do and protected her with all the airbags that went off. I mean, that car rolled at least 3 or 4 times and it was going fast. Came up way more direct than I thought it was going to. Based on the hillside, I thought I was going to try to sweep more. It did slough off a little bit, but I mean, it almost took the exact same path up that it took down, which is really bizarre. And nobody wanted to get in it because it smells really bad in there, so we had to kind of finagle the steering there at the last minute with the winch pulley. But it's loaded, it's good. Just a relatively easy one for how complicated the wreck was, and especially for how complicated this whole situation was. But the family's happy, everybody's happy. It took us less than an hour, so I feel good. You feel good?
I feel amazing.
You feel bad?
I feel bad. Bad to the bone.
It's nice to have a professional with you at all times. I think it was probably harder to pull off than it was to get on. What do you think?